Some parts look pretty heavy.
And that's great news. And the fact that we can get a little bit of steadier rain without the lightning. So we don't expect severe weather or thunderstorms out there today. And it's going to come in 3 phases, those weather changes. First, the rain, which we're seeing now on the Gulf Coast live radar, then the wind, and then the cold. So a lot of changes just in the next 12 to 24 hours. Let's start with the rain, and it's pretty light so far across Charlotte County. We're looking there for Port Charlotte and the Deep Creek area, Lake Susie. Most of it's north of the Peace River, so Punta Gorda, we're dry for now, but not for much longer. Here's the bigger picture, and the rain is moving from west to east. A couple things I want to show you. Walk with me over here to the Gulf Coast weather dish. I want to first point out the temperature. This is one thing you're going to notice. So we're just below 60 degrees. We're not going to warm up a whole lot today. We're just going to get above 60. So it's going to be a really chilly day. And then we're looking at the rain gauge. Haven't seen a whole lot through the dry season, but we'll at least add a little bit of rain into the rain gauge today. Let's show you what we got right now on the Gulf Coast live radar. Most of the rain is sitting off of our coast. And I want to switch to what we call the rain rate, because I've seen some interesting things here. And this is what I'm kind of looking at, where we see these areas shaded and the pink. Those are rain rates between 5 to 7 inches per hour. Now, here's the thing. We're not going to see these areas of heavier rain sit over the same locations for that long, so we're not going to pick up 7 inches of rain. But just to give you an idea of how heavy that rain is coming down, right now around a ½ an inch per hour over western sections of Collier County.
A lot of people have been sending in some incredible pictures.
Great pictures. Thank you for sending them.
Of this very unusual cloud in the sky this morning.
I've never seen one before, Jason.
Yeah, welcome to Florida.
Yeah, I know.
And I've got to say, if you don't know what it is and you just happen to look up and see it, it's a little jarring. You might have some questions. Okay, what's going on? And I've got probably the best picture of the morning to share with you from Ginny in St. James City. And as you look off in the distance, you can see that glowing cloud. It's called a noctilucent cloud, and it's caused by the exhaust from the Falcon 9 rocket launch, which launched this morning just before 6 a.m. from the Space Coast. Perfect timing, because as the exhaust kind of went up, some of the trailing gases expanded. It formed that circle, what we also call a jellyfish plume, and it got illuminated by the sun's rays, even though the sun was still below the horizon, at least from our vantage point. And most of us probably assume that the storm will go right down the middle of the cone. But that's usually not the way that it works. The storm, or soccer ball, can go to the right or to the left. And then 1 out of 3 times, hurricanes can go outside the forecast cone. But a hurricane is much larger than just a single point on the map. So instead of using the soccer ball, I've recruited some help from South Cape Community Center. And so what we're going to do to help you visualize a hurricane as it moves down the forecast cone, let's pull up this parachute. There we go. That looks more like the size of a hurricane. All right, so what I want you to do is watch it as we move down the forecast cone. Notice how the edges of the storm extend beyond the forecast cone. Just goes to show you, you don't have to be in the cone to see major impacts. Check this out. If you're wondering about the iguanas, once temperatures get to around 50, they start slowing down. But then, once temps start to get to around 45, that's when they could potentially fall out of a tree. At least temporarily, they become immobilized.
Action and spring showers, or summer showers, should we call it, with the 80s.
I mean, it is kind of a summer pattern, not quite to the extent that we would see in June, July, August. We're not going to make it into the 90s, but we're going to be close in some neighborhoods. And with the warmth and the humidity comes a better chance of rain for some Gulf Coast neighborhoods today. And as we look at the next several days, I think today, tomorrow will offer up the best rain chances. Now, I've got 40% today, but it all depends on where you live. On average, 40% rain coverage. But let's take a closer look and kind of see where those colors light up on the map as we track rain chances in your neighborhood. Bonita Springs, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, up to about a 60% rain chance. Much lower as you head east and south. So Marco Island and Naples, we're going to end up drier. Not saying that we're going to be completely dry, but I think the highest concentration of rain will be right through this corridor. Let me show you as we put today's weather in motion with our Gulf Coast Futurecast. We'll stay dry this morning, and the window of opportunity doesn't really start to open until about 2, 3 o'clock for, at first, a few spotty showers, but then some of these will bubble up a bit more, and there's the chance for some lightning strikes. I don't think we're going to see a tremendous amount of lightning, but there will be some rumbles of thunder. You can see right through here around Babcock Ranch, North Fort Myers. It could develop, slightly farther south, but the idea is there's going to be some soakers and storms out there today. We'll need to watch that closely because the ground is so dry. As we know, we're in a severe to extreme drought. So best rain chance today, Lee County north. The rainfall potential actually looks fairly promising for some spots, anywhere from 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch, but there could be a couple locations. Right now, that's showing up close to North Fort Myers. We'll keep you updated, of course, as the day evolves, but we could see a couple of locations pick up close to about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain. We need a lot more than that. You know about our drought situation. This is the extreme drought area in red and orange. It is a severe drought. This is the worst that it's been in 25 years here across the Gulf Coast. A little bit later this morning at 8:30, we're going to have an update to that drought monitor and see how much it changes. All right, so looking live right now, not a whole lot of changes out there this morning from Babcock Ranch. We were kind of stuck in the fog this time yesterday. We're at 65 currently, and that's kind of the theme here. Mid-60s across Charlotte County, 70 Cape Coral, and down the US 41 and I-75 to Naples and Marco Island. It's a unseasonably warm start to that today, and we're going to see a hot finish too. Afternoon temperatures following suit, up to 87. Of course, some of us will get cooled off by some areas of rain and storms. Spring baseball today, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. First pitch at 1:05 at the Charlotte Sports Complex. I would bring a rain jacket. I think we'll be good here for that first pitch, but later on, to get toward that 7th inning stretch, and as the game wraps up, there could be a few soakers out there. So just keep that in mind if you're heading out to that spring training game today. 7 p.m. rain chances at 30% and then dwindling here through the night. And the weekend forecast looks pretty good overall. There will be a few afternoon showers tomorrow. We'll see about a 40% chance of showers and storms, and those will tend to develop closer to the coast again. So that means Collier, Lee, and Charlotte County. Here's your extended forecast, your Gulf Coast 10-day outlook. And the outlook for next week calls for more warmth. I don't think we're going to be quite as toasty. There will be a front that's going to begin to approach southwest Florida by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So that's why I've got temperatures coming in a little bit cooler toward the back half of next week. And it's possible we could even get close to the 50s on Friday morning. It's still several days away, of course, so we'll keep you updated. And if you want to stay updated on your weather, make sure to download our Gulf Coast News app.
Nestled between the steady hum of 2 major highways in Fort Myers lies a hidden oasis, a lush green corridor pulsing with life.
The plants are filtering the water.
For Sabine Vandenhende, this wildlife haven is more than just a scenic escape. It's her sanctuary.
My husband tells me when he sees them a little like antsy or nervous, he says, go to your happy place, go to the slough.
The 6-mile Cypress Slough Preserve is a narrow ribbon of wetland winding through the heart of Lee County, a place where nature thrives and surprises await around every bend.
It always feels different each time I come in here, and I always feel like I find something I haven't seen before.
From August through October, the slough offers a more immersive experience with guided tours known as the Wet Walk, allowing you to wade through its refreshing, gently flowing water.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going on the path here.
David Minnick has been leading wet walks for 5 years, helping visitors safely navigate their way through the water.
We just try and talk about the science of it.
The biggest challenge isn't the wildlife, but the maze of cypress trees and tangled roots beneath your feet.
Once in a while we'll see a snake on a log. That kind of always catches you by surprise. Generally not in the water. It's just the nature of the science that we're moving along, and our percussion of our footsteps, gentle as they are, and the vibration we make as we move through the water.
The water moves slowly, taking an 11-day journey through the cypress forest before eventually flowing into the Gulf. Along the way, the slough's rich vegetation acts like a natural filter.
We take measurements all along the length of the slough, and we notice that the plants absorb a good number of fertilizers, herbicides, detergents, that stuff that just is in natural runoff. So the water is getting cleaner.
During the rainy season, the slough becomes even more vital, replenishing our aquifer and storing rainwater. Without it, flooding during storms and hurricanes would be much worse.
It's the biggest retention pond in Lee County. I mean, and it's right in the heart. So yeah, we absorb all the excess water in hurricanes.
Beyond its environmental benefits, the slough has served as a living classroom for more than 30 years. The Wet Walk is a field trip favorite for local schools during the week and a weekend retreat for nature lovers.
Oh, the energy is incredible. Yeah, no, that's very rewarding. and like I said, when we get done, everybody is energized.
The story of the slough began in the 1970s when a determined group of local high school students, known as the Monday Group, launched a grassroots campaign to shield the wetland from development. Their efforts sparked a movement, and today their legacy is a reflection of the spirit of the slough.
This place seems to bring the best out of people. We have a rock garden where you can get commemorative rocks, and there's a rock in there that says, "Slough, thank you for healing me," that I think of often. And I think any number of us have just found this is a certain sense of renewal when we come over here and spend some time.
Meteorologist Jason Dunning, Gulf Coast News.